Cervantes, and I will be delivering a speech on my cultural narrative. Life isn't always rainbows and butterflies. In this world, we live and we learn. Everyone goes through certain events in life that help shape the person you are today. It could be a good, a joyful, a shocking, or unpleasant experience, but it's up to you on how you let it affect your life. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my cultural narrative. First, I will tell you guys about my high school experiences. Secondly, on living in a Mexican household, and finally, on the importance of family. In my last year of high school, I had a class called service learning, but it felt more like work. I would be in the main office with 4 other students, and we would help out the counselors. We would organize papers, we would send out important messages to teachers and students, we would help set events up, we would help decorate, we would even help translate during parent conferences. We basically did everything the counselors didn't want to do. And that's where I learned that there's different types of people. I dealt with impatient counselors, I dealt with rude parents, rude kids, even mad parents. And that's where I realized that not everyone is easygoing, and I had to learn and help. I had to help and learn how to deal with all these different attitudes. Another high school experience that changed my life and helped me learn was joining the cheer team. You can't walk into tryouts and think that being nice and being pretty is gonna get you into the team. No, you need to earn your spot. It was my sophomore year of tryouts, and I loved cheer, so I was ready to try my best, and it turns out I made it into the varsity team. I was so happy. It was like the best day ever, but not to the other girls. There was girls that had been there longer than me and still in the JV team, so they had something against me. Like, it was just not good. And months after, I decided to quit. And what I learned, that never to feel less than others, always try my best and just prove others wrong. And that brings me to how my Mexican household has played a big part in my cultural narrative. I live in a Mexican household, and my family is pretty big. My family owns a property with 4 2-bedroom houses. And there lives my dad, my grandma, and my uncles. We stick together as a family and are always helping each other out, expecting nothing in return. And a bad thing about living all together is that everyone is in everyone's business, so it can be judgy at times. And another thing is that Mexicans are expected to work harder than everybody else, and we do. My parents migrated to the country to give me and my sister a better future, so they have high expectations for us. It is a lot of pressure for us because basically we need to do everything on our own. They don't have enough information or knowledge to help us out. And yes, it is challenging. And that brings us to how the importance of family has to do with my cultural narrative. My parents got divorced when me and my sister were very young. We currently live with our mother, but one weekend we're with my dad and with my mom, and like on and off. And yes, it's hard and annoying to deal with divorced parents, but we learn how to cope with them. It might have affected me a little though, because I feel inside of me that I probably won't find the right person for me. And I know that's bad, but although that experience drastically changed the way I live, my family has always been there for me and always made sure that I am doing good. And that's why they are very important to me. And in the future, when I decide to have a family, I am going to stay with them and care for them as much as I can and just do things right. And to conclude my cultural narrative, I learned that it is important to know how to deal with certain events or situations in life that don't always go out as planned. And like I mentioned at first, we live and we learn, and learning is a beautiful part of life. And that concludes my speech.